Well guys, for weeks now we've been following the FaZe Clan versus Tfue lawsuit, and we've strived not only to bring you net new information and important context in the case, but report it in as balanced and neutral a way as we are able. We've went over the lawsuit, we've went over Tfue's leaked contract, we've heard from his lawyer and other legal experts, and now it's time to hear FaZe Clan's side of the story. You know what? Fucking intro. We interviewed Lee Trink, CEO and co-owner of FaZe Clan, to get his side of the Tfue lawsuit. Before we get into all the legal defenses, let's start with a question that I've had since this lawsuit was made public. What exactly is the status of Tfue on FaZe Clan right now?
Well, look, obviously he's not representing us anymore. We consider him still on FaZe Clan until he's not on FaZe Clan. That's really it. What does that mean? I don't, I guess depends on the circumstance. I could tell you how that looks to the public, but we consider him a part of FaZe Clan until he's not a part of FaZe Clan. Him just taking the logos off of his pages doesn't make him out.
You'll know from our previous coverage that the Tfue lawsuit has two major thrusts to it. Number one, that FaZe Clan is allegedly acting illegally as a talent agency while not having a license to do so in the state of California. And second, that although Tfue is listed as an independent contractor in his original gamer agreement, that he is allegedly illegally being restricted from pursuing other opportunities. Now, if you want a more in-depth discussion on what these actually mean, check out our previous coverage. Now let's begin with the first claim. Trink's position on the allegation that FaZe Clan is illegally acting as a talent agency is that the relevant laws here, which are under the California Talent Agencies Act, cover artists, and that Tfue is in fact a professional athlete.
These guys are athletes. They're not actors. The Talent Agency Act has never protected an athlete. It's done specifically for theatrical actors, and I am sure that if you got Tfue on your show and you would say, Tfue, are you an actor or an athlete? What do you think the answer would be on that? Unequivocally, what Brian is trying to claim covers this contract, it just simply doesn't cover the contract. It never has. And again, I would think the community doesn't think he's an actor. I think he himself doesn't think he's an actor. And for sure, when we signed him, he was a pro gamer. His contract says gamer agreement. It doesn't say actor.
Worth noting here that the Tfue lawsuit explicitly tries to categorize him as an artist, saying, quote, "In no uncertain terms, these gamers are artists, entertainers, and content creators. They perform, they act, they direct, they edit, and they stream," end quote. So which is it? Well, the California Labor Code section 1700.4, which covers talent agencies, defines artists in the following way. Artists means actors and actresses rendering services on the legitimate stage and in production of motion pictures, radio artists, musical organizations, directors of legitimate stage, motion picture, and radio productions, musical directors, writers, cinematographers, composers, lyricists, arrangers, models, and other artists and persons rendering professional services in motion picture, theatrical, radio, television, and other entertainment enterprises, end quote. Now, there is no telling how an actual judge would interpret these passages, but I feel like a strong argument could be made that Tfue is in fact an artist in so much as he streams for entertainment. After all, isn't that what streaming is about? Now, to that, Lee Trink told me that Tfue was signed as a competitor, as an athlete, and just because he does some vlogging and some other entertainment projects doesn't take away from the fact that he is still an athlete. He also told me that his streaming is essentially thought of as practice for his competitions.
The reason why streaming works for Fortnite is because you can do it by yourself at any moment and say, all right, I'm welcoming you in to me practicing while I'm preparing to compete. What I'll also say is, let's talk about why he signed with us. What was the purpose of it? What was the salary for? The salary was for his professional gaming skills. He doesn't convert to something else because he has other interests. The same way LeBron does a lot of other things, right? Does it make him any less of an athlete? It just doesn't. And so all of these things support his brand building. But again, go look at I shouldn't have to convince you. Tfue himself is telling you what he is. He's a professional athlete.
Now on to the second major contention of the lawsuit, that Tfue's contract is in violation of section 16600 of the California Business and Professions Code, and that he is allegedly illegally being restrained from pursuing other employment opportunities after and during his time with FaZe Clan as an independent contractor. Trink told me that Tfue should be considered a unique talent and therefore wouldn't fall under the law the same way you and I would as employees or independent contractors.
Code 6600, typical independent contractors, it covers that. But you know what it doesn't cover? It doesn't cover uniquely talented individuals or athletes. Tfue is a unique talent. The same way as LeBron James is a unique talent. And when LeBron signs to the Lakers, guess what he can't do? He can't play for any other team. So this is another smoke and mirror of, he makes a big showing, a lot of saber rattling, and says, oh, we're going in front of the California Labor Commission. No problem. We'll be happy to see you in front of the California Labor Commission, because we know under both of these claims, they're both losers for him.
Here, I believe Trink is referring to California Labor Code Section 2855, which allows for a person of unique, unusual, and extraordinary value to be signed exclusively for no more than 7 years. Now, I spoke to James Goodman, a California-based attorney who specializes in labor law, about this, and he told me that 2855 has been applied in cases involving actors, and notably in a case featuring 1960s and 70s basketball star Rick Barry. Now, there are other possible exceptions to section 16600 of the Business and Professions Code, but from my admittedly surface-level understanding of California law, they are rare and specific and might not be easily applied to this case. In fact, that's kind of the story with this entire lawsuit. California law, and probably law everywhere else, is not very well equipped to deal with cases of this nature, with cases that fall within esports and gaming and streaming. And if this lawsuit does make it to court, which it probably won't, it could set the tone for all future legal action and contract within the realm of esports, streaming, and gaming. Now, other than those two main points, there was a lot of talk, especially early on after the lawsuit was made public, about just how bad Tfue's original gamer contract apparently was. Now, Trink categorizes it as a sort of rookie contract, something that Tfue was meant to grow out of as he grew as a competitor.
Rookie agreements are not great. And rookie agreements get renegotiated all the time in everything else, in sports, music, film, you name it. It's really common. It's only not common here. This is the first one. So everybody's up in arms in it. By the time we get to the 10th one, it's not going to be much of a story anymore. And it's going to be considered. Okay, you sign a rookie agreement with terms that are tough terms. And when you blow up and when you get to be huge, guess what? Everybody renegotiates and everybody comes up with a new deal because it's better for everybody.
Now, as to the amount of money that FaZe Clan is entitled to under the original gamer contract, which was a pretty controversial point when this whole lawsuit was made public, Trink doubles down on the notion that while Tfue brings a lot to the org by just being signed with them, they have taken precious little directly from him.
We've already said it. We haven't taken any money from the guy. This is a guy, he's made certainly $15-20 million since he's signed with us, right? He's personally made money. He's going to be somewhere around those numbers. Yeah, had there been some other benefits? I would never deny that. Of course there is. But as far as actually talk about monetary benefit, a guy who's made tens of millions of dollars and we've taken 60 grand, it's like, to be honest, I'm almost embarrassed. We've had to defend the fact that we've only made $60,000 from the kid.
Those of you who have been following this case really closely may recall that the lawsuit made some proclamations about bettering the gaming industry. To quote it directly, through this action, Tenny, that's Tfue, seeks to shift the balance of power to the gamers and content creators / streamers, those who actually create value and drive the industry. As a result of this action, others will hopefully take notice of what is going on and help to clean up esports, end quote. Trink, perhaps unsurprisingly, takes a very different view of the lawsuit and didn't mince words when it came to what he thought Tfue's lawyers' motivations were.
Look, I think that when you look at this lawsuit overall, I think that any of the claims that Tfue's lawyer makes about trying to better the industry, I think it's a farce. I think that what he's tried to do, and I think his goal is to get Tfue out of his contract by any means necessary. I think that for one, I really want to make the point of none of this is about bettering the industry. This is about Brian Friedman trying to get more press for himself, more clients for himself. And I think Tfue just wants out of his contract. And I think he's taking bad advice from Brian to say, do it my way and I'll get you out.
In our first video featuring Tfue's lawyer, Brian Friedman, he told us that Tfue's team had sent FaZe Clan a proposed contract, which they then gutted and sent back, allegedly making it illegal. Days later, Keemstar released a video with a statement from FaZe that called that very same contract, quote, impossible to sign. End quote. Why is that? Well, Lee Trink has a slightly different version of the story, and here's what he had to say about that situation.
What he sent was a markup of our agreement. He didn't send a brand new agreement. So this is it. This is with all the red line markup. But I'm gonna read one excerpt that you'll see that I highlighted for myself that made this impossible to sign. That yes, technically it's words on pages with a signature letter, but it's not a contract because of this. It's not a contract that makes sense. So here it is. Gamer may provide services or otherwise work for, create content for, or be employed by any esports team or gaming company. That's it. This is it's the same way he does it. He tries to create this smoking gun moment where he jumps up and down and he says, we sent them a contract, damn it. See, he's not trying to get out. But here, if you want to do a screenshot of that, that's the line right there. If you want to take a look at it, that's it.
So when, where, and how is this whole thing going to actually end? For Tfue's part, it seems pretty clear that he just wants out of his contract and out of FaZe. Trink told me that FaZe Clan would be willing to deal his contract to another org as long as they were able to benefit from that, just like a traditional sports team would trade a player to another team.
If he wants to go to another org, that's fine. But then we should get some value of having him under contract and transferring him in good faith. We're happy to fight. The reality is all of those times we've tried the many times we've tried, it's been in good faith. The problem is I've never had good faith on the other side. I've never been met with actual good faith on the other side. From whether it's Brian running the campaign or the previous advisors running the campaign, for sure, looking back, there has never been a good faith approach to sitting down with us and coming up with a real resolution. Because we've tried, again, very hard to come up with creative solutions when you don't get any feedback from the other side. And so we're back to the drawing board saying, okay, can somebody else guess what maybe Tfue wants? Let's put that in agreement.
But what if Tfue wanted to start his own org and join that, as some people claim? On that, Trink did not have a definitive answer, saying that FaZe Clan would cross that bridge if and when they came to it. Finally, the CEO and co-owner of FaZe Clan told me that since, in his own words, FaZe Clan is at the top of the heap when it comes to gaming orgs, more lawsuits may be on the way. But that the future of FaZe Clan looks brighter than ever.
When you are the biggest, the best, the most powerful, the most famous, the most fans, guess what you also have? You got a lot of people coming at you in every direction. I have bolstered myself that I think that lawsuits are going to be something that we're going to have to just get comfortable with. We continue to find new talent. We continue to support new talent. We continue to win. That's the story of FaZe Clan. That's, to me, look at what we've got going into World Cup. Nobody else has that. I don't know. To me, the future is bright as we could possibly imagine it to be.
Thanks for watching. If you want more content like this, hit the sub button and ring that notification bell. For unique bite-sized videos you won't find anywhere else, hit up our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook pages.